Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on June the 19th, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, let's start off by taking a look at our calendar here. In terms of the news today, we did see Bank of England statement here, monetary policy statement. They haven't really changed much, except they have introduced another asset purchase program, but they said that they are looking into negative interest rates. At this point, they are not going towards negative interest rates, but they are kind of weighing the consequences and the impacts of having negative interest rates. So they didn't close the door to it. However, they said that they're not at that place just yet. So they are wanting to see how things go before they actually go towards that. So as a result of that, we did see a bit of a whipsaw in pound crosses across the board. But overall, this was dovish for British pound, and we did see it drop. And now coming into or going into Friday here, there is EU Economic Summit. So any kind of comments that come out of that could have an impact on the market. So we'll keep an eye on that. But other than that, there's retail sales numbers here. Retail sales are expected to go up. And that makes sense because as we know, economies are still just opening up, and with the opening up of the economies, we are expecting an increase in retail sales overall. And other than that, the most important thing that we'll have to keep in mind here will be the options expiry. So this week has been quite volatile and choppy, and we have seen the stock markets go up and down, and with that we have seen the Forex market sort of follow suit. And tomorrow is the big $1.8 trillion option expiry. So this includes the monthly options, our quarterly options, as well as 6-month options. So big day in terms of options expiry. And this is why the market has been a bit volatile. Plus we had Powell speaking as well. And Powell, of course, speaks tomorrow as well. He's been testifying all week. So at this point, everything that needed to be said, has been said. So I wouldn't expect much in terms of surprise there. But I would keep an eye on the stock market, because if the stock market drops after the options expire, then we could see our currency markets do the same thing. So that's something to watch out for. So let's go on to the charts here. We'll start off with our euro dollar charts. As expected, we did see the euro drop, and we have a nice bearish candle close here. Now prices into support here once again. So bias is bearish, and in terms of a pullback, we may get a pullback into a 1.1220 potentially, and then I will look for a drop from there. So bias still remains bearish. Target is a 1.1150. So bearish bias here for euro dollar. Pound dollar here, yesterday we were looking for a drop. We got that drop, and bias still remains to the downside here. I will look for a potential pullback into 1.2450, and then we may get a drop from there. If we get a deeper pullback, it may go into 1.2475-ish level, and then we may get a drop. So we'll keep an eye on both of those levels. But bias is bearish. Next target is 1.2320, which is the base of this candle. So bearish bias here for pound dollar as well. Aussie dollar here, this one did drop. However, it's into support here. Australian dollar is directly tied into the stock market. So when the stock market goes up, Aussie goes up. And when the stock market drops, Australian dollar drops as well. And with the with our stock market sideways this week, we have seen that Aussie hasn't done a whole lot. So right now, a bias is bearish here as well, but with caution, because price is into our support here. So if it does not break the support, this one could move higher. But overall, it has been making lower highs. So bias still remains to the downside. Just a little. We just have to be cautious here, though, because if things turn around with the stock market, this is likely to follow suit as well. So in this case, I will look for a pullback potentially into 0.6880. And if it holds below here, we are looking for a drop into 0.6780. Now, should it go through that, it can go and then test the high of today, which is into 0.6900. For now, bias is bearish with caution though. New Zealand dollar, we do have a bearish pin bar here, but keep in mind that price is into support. As we can see here, it hasn't really been able to go through this support yet for the last 3 days here. It's been stuck at the support level. So for it to continue lower, we do need to see a break of that support. So bias is bearish, again, with caution here. New Zealand dollar is another one of those currencies that is tied directly to the stock market. So if stock market goes up, then we're likely to see this one go up as well. But in the meantime, a bias is bearish. Next target is 0.6380 and then potentially into 0.6340. So bearish bias with caution. Dollar CAD here, this one, we have a bullish candle close. However, we have to notice that price is trading in a range at the moment. So for the last 3 days, this is where it's been stuck. So if it does not break the resistance at 1.3620, then chances are we'll see price come back down towards the bottom of the range here. So for now though, bias is neutral to bullish. If it does manage to break through the resistance, then I'm looking for price to go into the next level here at 1.3685. But if it gets stuck below the high of the range here, then it's very likely that's going to drop. So neutral to bullish is what I'm looking at here for dollar CAD. Silver here, silver is looking bearish. And I will look for a pullback into 17.45 level. But keep in mind, price isn't also into support here. So if it does not break the support, it can go back up. And also it has been stuck in this little range for the last 3 days here. So for it to continue lower, we do need to see a break of the support level. So for now, bias is bearish, but if it fails to break through the support, keep in mind this one can go higher. So once it breaks through the support, we're looking for a drop. Next target is 16.90. So bearish bias here. And if it does go through that, then we're looking at 16.70 for silver. Gold here, gold is looking bearish as well. We see that the entire week here, it's been confined to this range. So now looking for price to drop further. And in terms of a pullback, I would look at 1727 or even 1730 for a potential pullback level, and then we may get a drop from there. So bias here is bearish here, and next target is 1712, and below that we're looking at 1703. So bias is bearish for gold. Oil here, oil actually came into the support, wasn't able to break through. So this one has gone higher. So it's looking bullish right now. First target is 40 and then 40.50, which is the high of this candle here, will be the second target for oil. Copper here, copper is neutral here. It has been trading in this range. And at this point, we may get a retest of 2.58 or even 2.57. And if it holds below that, then I would look for it to drop. As we can see, this is the range it's been this is the range it's been trading in this entire week. So if it doesn't go through the resistance, we're looking for a move back down towards the middle or the bottom part of the range. So bias here is neutral to slightly bullish. If it does go through the resistance here, then we are looking for next move higher into 2.60. So for now, neutral to slightly bullish here for copper. Bitcoin here, we do have a slight drop here for Bitcoin. So bias is bearish. We have a small little tiny pin bar. Prices into support as well though. So keep that in mind. It hasn't managed to break through the support yet. So for this one to continue lower, we need to see a break of that support. So in this case, a bias is neutral to slightly bearish. So if price holds below today's low, then, below today's high, then I'm looking for price to drop. Should it break through though, then of course we have plenty of room to the upside and it could make another leg higher. For now though, bias is neutral to bearish. First target 9050, then 8865. S&P 500, this has been interesting. We did see a drop initially, but prices rejected that support level. And in this case, if it breaks through 3130, we're looking for a move higher. So neutral to slightly bullish here for S&P 500. Next target is 3170. And then should it go through that, we're looking at 3180. But if it doesn't break through this resistance, watch for it to drop. In that case, the first target would be the bottom of today's candle. And then the second target here is 3035. So first target 3080 and then 3035. So neutral bias here for S&P 500. Nasdaq here, this one also rejected the low, as we can see. And it has pulled back from there. Now just keep in mind, price is into resistance, so watch out. But this one looks bullish here. 10,100 will be the next target. So neutral to slightly bullish here for Nasdaq. Dow Jones here, this one, we see price came into support here and then bounced off of that. So bias here is neutral. In this case, I will look for a retest of the high of 26,280. And if price goes through that, we're looking for a further move to the upside. So for now, neutral bias for Dow Jones. DAX here, price has been trading in this range for the last 3 days. As I mentioned, because of option expiries coming up on Friday, market has been sideways for the most part, as we can see. And this has been, this has moved on to other indices as well that are not, or stock markets as well that are not part of the US. So in this case, as we see, same scenario as we saw with the others. Price has been trading in a range for the last 3 days. So right now I am neutral on this because price hasn't really done anything. So this and support, this is where it's been trading between 12,450 and 12,160. So I would expect price to stay within this range. If it comes into support and bounces off, then I'm looking for it to go back up towards the high of the range. So right now, neutral bias for DAX. And then FTSE here, we see that FTSE has rejected the top of the range for the last 3 days here in a row, and we have 3 pins. Bias is looking bearish here. So next level here would be 6,100 and then 6,050. So bearish bias here, but keep in mind price is into support. So if it doesn't break through the support, it can turn around here. So bearish bias here for FTSE. And then we have Nikkei here. Nikkei has rejected the low. So this one is moving higher now. First target is 22,620 and then 22,765. So bias here is neutral to neutral for Nikkei. All right, so that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be back with our weekly analysis on Sunday. All right, I will have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye for now.